Sometimes I think about how limited our perception really is, and that there is nothing we can do about it. We experience the world through our senses. We hear, we see, we taste, we touch, we smell, right? And that's it. There are entire layers of reality we don't perceive, not because they aren't there, but because we don't have the tools for them. We can't see radio waves, Wi Fi signals, or X rays. They exist, but they pass right through us unnoticed. Even within the senses we do have, we're limited. A dog can hear sounds we can't. Other animals perceive ranges of reality that are completely closed to us. So when we ask what the world really is outside of us, we already know the answer. We can never fully know. We only ever experience a filtered version of it, shaped by our biology. That part doesn't bother me that much, to be honest. It feels like something we can accept. What unsettles me more is that even inside these limits, we're still deeply biased without meaning to be. We live on a tiny planet, we're human, and because of that, we tend to see the universe through ourselves. In the past, when people saw lightning or heard thunder, they thought it had something to do with the humans. Gods throwing things, forces reacting to us, everything was interpreted in human terms. And in a way, we still do this. When we talk about aliens, even when we imagine something very different, right? We still imagine something familiar. A body, a face, eyes, maybe altered, maybe strange, but still human-like, or at least animal-like. It's very hard for us to imagine intelligence that doesn't resemble us at all. But what if intelligence could exist in a form we can't even picture? What if it wasn't a single body? What if it wasn't an organism the way we understand organisms? It could be something distributed, something collective, something that doesn't look alive to us at all. Patterns, movements, structures, something intelligent that doesn't fit any category we know. The problem is that even when we try to imagine the unknown, we're still trapped inside what we already are. And our perception is limited by our senses, and our imagination is limited by our form. We call our bodies normal only because we are used to them. We inhabit one. We see similar ones everywhere. Strip that familiarity away, and the human body is actually very strange. Soft tissue, leaking fluids, limited senses, consciousness riding inside meat. From the outside, we are already alien. And maybe that's the point, that reality is far wider than what feels familiar. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, and that state where you've woken up, but you're not fully awake yet. And in those moments, I realize that I don't really know who I am or where I am. Not in the usual sense. Yes, I know the basics. I know I am at home. I know which country I'm in, what I do, who my family and friends are. But when I zoom out a little, all of that starts to feel thin. We live on Earth, and most of the time it feels like this is the whole universe. We don't usually think about the fact that we're living on a spinning rock, moving through space. We just live our lives, and that makes sense. Life isn't easy. When we are young, we study and follow rules. When we are older, we work, we try to provide, we take care of people we love. We fall in love, we break up. We worry, we try to get better at what we do. So much of our attention is taken by being human that there is often no space left to think outside that frame. But none of that changes the situation. We're still on this spinning rock. And when you really think about that, about how small this planet is compared to the universe, it starts to feel strange. There are countless galaxies, countless planets. Some people even talk about the possibility of multiple universes. And here I am, thinking about what I'll have for breakfast, or worrying about ordinary human problems. On the scale of the universe, the difference between me and my own cells almost disappears. When I try to comprehend that scale, it sometimes scares me. Not in a dramatic way, just quietly. In those moments, I genuinely don't know who I am, what I am, or where I am. And then morning comes. I wash my face, I go to work, I earn money, I do the things humans do. My focus shifts, and where my focus goes, I go with it. Life feels solid again. But nothing has actually changed. All that vastness is still there. All those dimensions of space still exist. And I know that one day I won't exist anymore. And I have no idea what happens then. That's a strange thing to live with. There is nothing to do about it, really. But thinking about it, even briefly, somehow makes life feel more vivid, more awake. And then, when I'm fully awake and back in the world, talking to people, doing ordinary things, those feelings don't disappear. They stay quietly in the background of my mind, and somehow they make life feel richer. You start to realize that what you're experiencing isn't ordinary at all. It's something almost unimaginable. I can love. I can enjoy food. I can feel water running over my skin. I can experience friendship. I can learn things, acquire skills, improve at what I do. I don't need to explain any of it. I can simply do it. I can look at the sky. I can look around and see how diverse this world is. Animals, nature, movement, color. I can talk to people I love and understand that we're all temporary here. Because of that, those moments stop feeling routine. They start to feel precious. It also makes me more patient with people, less reactive, less interested in conflict. You begin to understand that old idea that there is nothing truly new under the sun. And many arguments don't feel worth entering anymore. Not because they are meaningless, but because they are small compared to what's really happening. Of course, everything is relative. Life isn't always philosophical. Sometimes it's harsh. Sometimes it's about struggle, responsibility, survival. There are moments when we have to act to protect people we love, to protect our boundaries. If we don't, we can be taken advantage of, and then there is no space left for reflection. That's real too. I don't know if this is true for everyone, but for me, understanding the scale of things, the vastness, seems to help me enjoy life more, not less. At the same time, it isn't always comfortable, especially at night. Thinking about how small I am, how temporary everything is, how there may be no answers at all, whether this is real, an illusion, a game, a simulation, it can feel unsettling. Sometimes it doesn't feel good at all. There is a moment when you realize you might never know what this really is. And then morning comes. I wash my face, my focus shifts, I think about breakfast, something simple, something warm, something human, and it feels good to come back, to be here, to inhabit this body again and live an ordinary day. Not because the questions disappeared, but because being here as a human is still something I get to experience and enjoy while we're still here.